it's FoulFell, and I'm going to be showing you my Chemical Critter deck. This is after Raging Tempest and before Star Pack, but I don't think I'm going to be making many changes to this. So let's get into it. You run one Phoenix Gearfield. I'm contemplating on taking him out. You're not really needing him for many things besides him being a Gemini. His effects are really good when you can use him, but the only time I usually use him is just for XY material. The deck build I do have here is very reliant on XYZ, so keeping that in mind, you can continue watching. Then we run 3 Chemical Critter Diox Ogre. Pretty straightforward why you run 3. You run 3 Hydreigon. Again, pretty straightforward. Then for your last level 8, you run 2 Darkstorm Dragon. Main reason you run Darkstorm Dragon is obviously he's a level 8, and his effect is really good because with one of the spells that you run, you can pop it and you can get another Gemini out on the field. So those are the level 8s that you're going to be running. Now we go into the level 2s. We run 3 Oxyox. This card can get you your Galaxy Eyes full armor Photon Dragon out very easily with the play that I do. His effect is really good by special summoning 1 card from your hand. All other cards gain that level, and if you already have 1 level 8 out and you have him out, you're basically going to be able to get an instant 4K beat stick. Then you run 2 Hydron Hawk. Hydron Hawk's very good effect for a discard. You can special summon 1 Gemini from your grave. Then my favorite level 2 from this deck, Carbo Crab. Carbo Crab's effect is probably one of the best. The effect is really simple, very straightforward. You send 1 Gemini to your grave and 1 into your hand. Probably the best effect for this deck. Okay, so now we're going to get into the field spells. Obviously you're going to run 3 of the Catalyst Field. Catalyst Field is probably most notably the best field spell for Chemical Critters, obviously. Not needing to tribute summon level 8s, and you can special summon or normal summon another one. Makes it really easy to get out those XYZs. Then you run 2 Galaxy Cyclone. I would run Twin Twisters, but the thing that I noticed with my locals is a lot of people don't run a lot of back row. And with Galaxy Cyclone, the great effect is, once it's in the graveyard, it's basically 4 MSTs in 1, and that's why I like Galaxy Cyclone to be running in this deck. Then you run 3 Supervise. Supervise is the equip spell that I was talking about. Also, great thing about it is with Darkstorm Dragon, if you equipped Supervise, then you can target 1 face-up spell or trap you have on the field, send it to the grave, and destroy all cards on your opponent's back row. And then Supervise's effect will pop, and you get a Gemini to special summon. Then you run 3 Trade-in. Pretty straightforward. If you don't have a really good hand, but you have a level 8, you don't have a Catalyst Field, but you got a level 8 and a Trade-in, it always helps. Then for your final couple of spells, you run 2 Silent Doom. Very good card, especially if you have a Carbo Crab on first turn. You send a level 8 to the grave, you get a first level 8. Then your final 2 spells are Swords of Revealing Light for protection and Foolish Burial. And that is it for the spells. Now we're going to get into your traps. Pretty straightforward for the first trap, 3 Burnout. Most notably probably the best trap for the deck. Considering you banish 1 Chemical Critter, you get 2 special 2 Chemical Critters with different names. And obviously you're always going to want to run for those level 8s with my deck build, so you're always going to want to run and get your level 8s out, so you get 2 level 8s and you can instant XYZ summon. Then you run 2 Sekiretsue armor. Very few people would agree with me on this, but the main thing that I saw with Chemical Critters is their attack are very low, except for a couple. That's why you also have Darkstorm Dragon, because he's pretty close to a 3K beat stick. But for the lower ones, especially if you have an Oxyox just normal summoned, he has 0 attacks. So if your opponent's going to try to go for him, it's not going to work out in your favor, especially if you don't have anything else. So you want to run 2 Sekiretsu armor. Then you run 1 Regeki break. Please excuse the price on it. I have to clean off this sleeve. I would run a Regeki, but I don't have one, so substitute. Also, with the Regeki break, it's also really good sometimes if you send 1 card into your grave, such as the Galaxy Cyclone. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole for protection, and 1 Solemn Warning. So that is it for the main part of the deck. Now we'll get into the extra deck. I don't have a side deck for this build, mainly because I've only been running it as is. I haven't decided on anything for side decking yet. But we're going to get the obvious card out of the way first. You're going to run 3 Meth Dragon, or Meth Draco, whichever I like to call him Meth Dragon. Great effect, especially if you Catalyst Field on the field and you normal summon, detach. You're basically forcing your opponent to have to send a card to the grave. Be wary with this effect, especially if you're fighting against a deck that benefits from putting cards in the grave. Then you're going to want run 1 Galaxy Eyes, full armor, Photon Dragon, your 4K beat stick, 3 level 8s. Great effect, once per turn you can destroy 1 card on the field, 1 face-up card on the field. Also, another great thing about this card is you have equip spells, and if you already get this 4K beat stick out, you can add put equip spells on this card and then use them to be XY material. So instead of just having 3, you get 5 turns where you get to just basically destroy your opponent's cards. Then you run number 23 Lancelot. Main reason you run him is for the negations of spells and traps. Also, he can directly attack your opponent while he has XY material, so it's always a very good card to have. You run 1 level 2 XYZ, which is Gachi Gachi. Main reason you run Gachi Gachi is to give a boost. So if you have a 4K B stick and then you get this card, you get an extra 400 attack and defense, which is a very good buff. I mean, it could be obviously better. But also the effect where he cannot be destroyed, you can just detach. And then for the final, I would have another card, but we're going to use a proxy for that real fast before I go to this last card. 1 Dragon, Divine Knight of Felgrand, very good card. Detach, negate the effects of a face-up monster, but he also is not affected by other card effects. Just in case you have an effect like a Belize, where they cannot be destroyed by battle. Just bring out a Divine Dragon, Felgrand, target it, then it can't use this effect, and then beat it down with your 4K beat stick or a 3K with a Gachi Gachi. The final one that I run is 1 Aegeon, the Sea Castrum. This card is so good against extra deck maining decks. The only time I wouldn't suggest, if you have a first turn and you get 2 level 8s out, I'd immediately go into a Sea Castrum. Main reason I say this is its effect is during either player's turn. Both are actually, and the first effect is so broken, and you don't even have to do anything to get it. It's just whenever you feel like it. Basically, the effect is during either player's turn, once per turn, you can you set out all of their extra deck face down. You don't get to see. You choose 1, and you gain the attack of that monster, and it's banished. And that's the great thing. If your opponent has an extra deck and they only have maybe 3 to 4 cards in their extra deck, and from their first hand that you see, you may be able to guess what they're running, and you could devastate your opponent by doing that, by also taking away extra deck cards from them, and it's a very good card. Also, the other effect is you can detach and then return one of the banished, depending on what the type is, and if they have that type on the field, you get to destroy it. So yeah, I mainly use him for his first effect. It's very good against Blue Eyes Reliant decks because usually all of their side deck is going to be very big, high attack point monsters. So that's why you mainly run it. But that is all I have for you today. And if you guys did like this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about the deck profile. I still have a couple more things I want to add to this. And yep.